All right, friends, today we are moving to NF6. NF6 is having to do with fractions as decimals. So we're going to talk about the different place values to numbers. Okay, and I've set up a little place values chart. So we're going to envision this like money. Okay, money's the easiest thing to envision this as. So this is the number of dollars you have, up to 9, because I didn't put a tens place. If I wanted to put another one, then you could have $10, okay, or $11 or $12 or 13, okay, but we're just going to go up to 9. So the ones place is like the number of dollars you have, okay. The tenths place is the first number after the decimal. It's called tenths. Okay, it has a THS at the end, and that's really important because we don't want to get it confused with the tens place. It's the tenths place. It tells us that it's after the decimal. Now, the tenths place tells us how many dimes we have. How many dimes we have. Okay, so if I have 40 cents, I'm going to have 4 dimes. Okay, dimes are 10 cents, so tenths. Now, the hundredths tells me it's kind of like the pennies. So hundredths, THS, that's kind of like the pennies. So if I have 45 cents, okay, I have 4 dimes and 5 pennies. Okay, now if I want to put that into a fraction, how many pennies are in a dollar? There's 100. So if I'm going to write a fraction, I have 45 out of 100. Okay, there's my 45 out of 100. All right, now let's say that I don't have those 5 pennies. Let's say that I just have my 4 dimes. Okay, this is the what place? Tenths place. How many dimes are in a dollar? There are 10, okay, because the 4 is in the tenths place. So I would say that I had 4 out of my 10 dimes. So 4 tenths. So if there is a number here, then the fraction is out of 10 because this is like the dimes. If I have a number here, then my denominator is 100 because now I have pennies and there are 100 pennies in a dollar. So let's practice some of this on our worksheet. Okay. So let's look at this. So our fraction is 37 out of 100. You guys can do that easy peasy. Now, it's out of 100, so these are like pennies. Okay, so how many do I have out of 100? I have 0 whole numbers, and then I have my decimal, and then I have 37, and then I say the word hundredths. 37 hundredths. Make sure you add that THS on the end. You have to stick your tongue really far out. 37 hundredths. See how I did that? If you make it really big and fancy like that, it helps you to say it. Now, the word form is you're just going to write it as you say it. So 37 hundredths. All right, let's look at this one. So this one is not split into hundredths. It's split into tens. So my fraction is 7 tenths, 7 out of 10. My decimal, I don't have any dollars, but I have 7 dimes. So I'm in my tenths place. Okay, and my word form would be 7 tenths. All right, so we're going to do this page together. So what is my fraction? What is my fraction on this first one? I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 52 out of 100. And what's my decimal? These are split up into pennies. So I have 2 decimal places. So I have $0, but I have 52 pennies or 52 hundredths. And then my word form would be 52. And then when I write out the word hundredths, I have to make sure to put that THS at the end. Hundredths. All right, let's move on to the next one. My fraction is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 out of how many? 100. So what's my decimal? 0, no whole numbers. How many pennies do I have? 17. So I would say 17 hundredths, and my word form would be 17 hundredths. Make sure you add that THS at the end. That's super important. All right, let's move to this one. This is 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of what? 10. 6 out of 10. These are what? These are dimes. Okay, so I have $0, but I have 6 tenths. I have 6 dimes, 6 tenths. So I'm going to write out 6 tenths. All right, what about this one? 10, 20, 30, 40, 9. 49 out of 100. What's my decimal? 0.49. And how am I going to say this? 49 hundredths. Okay. Ooh, now this is a tricky one. How many are colored in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 out of 100. Now, for my decimal, if I put a number here, this would tell me how many dimes I had. Do I have 5 dimes? Do I have 50 cents? No, I only have 5 cents. I'm dealing with pennies here. So, do I have any dimes at all here? No, I don't even have 1 dime. So, I'm going to put a 0. I have 0 dimes. 0 dimes. But I do have 5 pennies. So I'm going to put the 5 right there. Okay, now I want you to really look at this one because this is an important one. So I would say I have 5 hundredths. 5 hundredths. All right, last one. 1, 2, 3 out of 10. My decimal, 0 whole numbers. I have 3 dimes. And my word form would be 3 what? Tenths. 3 tenths. All right. Nice job, my friends. Move on to page 9. All right, page 9's pretty easy. I'm going to show you a couple, and then I'm going to let you do them by yourself. Look at number 13 and 14. They're already done for you. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, so we're going to convert each fraction below into a decimal. Okay? When there are 2 zeros in the denominator, there must be 2 numbers after the decimal. Okay? Because we're dealing with pennies. When there is 1 0 in the denominator, like dimes or 10, there must be 1 number after the decimal. So if there's 100, there are 2 digits. If there is a 10, there is 1 digit because we're dealing with dimes. So there's 2 zeros, so I know that I'm going to have a 0.79. 2 zeros, 2 numbers. Okay, 1 0, how many numbers? 1 number, so $0.06. Okay, 2 numbers, so I'm going to have a 0.17, which is 17 hundredths. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a tricky one. I have 100 here. I have to have 2 digits after the decimal. But if I put an 8 first, that's going to tell me that I have 8 dimes. Is this 8 dimes? No, this is only 8 what? 8 pennies. So 8 pennies is very different than 8 dimes. You can actually buy something with 8 dimes. If you have only 8 pennies, you're not going to be buying a whole lot. So I have to make sure that I put that I have 0 dimes and I have 8 pennies. I have to make sure that my pennies are on the end in the hundredths place. So I would say 8 hundredths. Okay, do this one. Okay, keep going. And be really careful when you get down here to number 12. Okay, let's look at that one. Number 12. If I put a 3 here, I'm telling somebody that I have 3 dimes. Is this 3 dimes? That's only 3 pennies. I have 0 dimes and 3 pennies. So that is 3 hundredths. All right, my friends, I'm going to have you do those ones. All right, let's move on, or pause the video to finish this page. Let's move on to page 12. Now, on page 12, we're going to go the opposite direction. They're going to give you the decimal, and you're going to change it to a fraction. So, again, when there are 2 numbers after the decimal, there must be 2 zeros in the denominator. It has to be over 100. If there's 1 number after the decimal, then it's going to be 1 0 and it's going to be over 10. So this is 93. This is 2 numbers. So what do I know it has to be over? It has to be over 100. So it's 93 hundredths. Okay, how about this one? There are two numbers, so I know that it has to be over 100. Oh, this one, there's only one digit, so now I know it has to be over what? 10. So 7 out of 10. Okay, what about this one? 3. 3. There's two digits after the decimal, so I know it has to be over 100. And what's my number? 3 pennies. All right, my friends, finish this page, changing them into decimals. And at the bottom, Marnie ate 8/10 of a candy bar. How can this amount be expressed as a fraction? Well, there is one number after the decimal, so I know it has to be over 10. So it can't be that one, and it can't be that one. Is it 8 out of 10 or 80 out of 10? The answer is 8 out of 10. Okay, during a basketball game, 63 hundredths of the pitches Jacks threw were strikes. How can this be expressed as a fraction? There are two numbers after the decimal, so I know my answer has to be over 100, and that leaves me only one choice. It's not over 10, it's not over 1,000, it's not over 3, so it is over 100. All right, my friends, that is your math for today, pages 10, 11, and 12. Good job. These math lessons are a little bit longer, but you guys can do it. Persevere. I'll talk to you later. Bye.